News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
The lawsuits against Volkswagen have begun. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. Congratulations, you made it. It's Friday, October the 2nd, 2015. Right now, we do have 53 degrees in Missoula. It's very mild in western Montana. And our newscast this morning, sponsored by Dig It Excavating, where they bring 30 years of excellence to every job. Call 214-4292. Governor Steve Bullock's chief of staff is among the plaintiffs in a Montana lawsuit against Volkswagen over the automaker's emissions rigging scandal. Tracy Stone Manning, her husband Richard, and Missoula resident Christine Ackland are the three Volkswagen car owners named as the original plaintiffs in the lawsuit filed Monday in Missoula. Their attorney, Timothy Bechtold, said Thursday at least 9 more people will be added as plaintiffs. Volkswagen has admitted using a piece of engine software to cheat on diesel car emission tests. The Montana lawsuit accuses Volkswagen of fraud by concealment and of violating the state's Consumer Protection Act. The plaintiffs say they bought their Volkswagens in part because of the clean diesel system that Volkswagen advertised. They're seeking their money back and punitive damages against Volkswagen. The layoff of employees at Tricon Timber in Mineral County may be just the first in a series of bad news stories for the Montana timber industry, according to Montana Bureau of Business and Economic Research Forest Research Director Todd Morgan. The end of the softwood lumber agreement with Canada this month is just one of many threats to the industry.
Housing starts so far this year haven't been as high as they were expected. So there's an oversupply of lumber in the U.S. market right now. Prices are down 25-30% or so. So the second threat is that the U.S. dollar is fairly strong right now. So that's an additional incentive for Canada and other producers to sell products in the U.S.
Morgan says Canada also has a lumber surplus because China's slowed down its building. A lot of that cheaper lumber may be headed to the U.S. and will likely lead to more layoffs, even more mill closures.
Mill closures are possible. I'm not going to try and predict which ones or say specifically how many, anything like that, but it's definitely possible. I think these conditions right now are about as challenging as they were during the housing bust because we just have a really low price on lumber. It's affecting a lot of the sawmills in this state, and the sawmills are the biggest piece of the wood products industry in Montana.
That agreement will expire on October 12th. U.S. officials are proposing tighter safety rules for pipelines carrying oil, gasoline, and other hazardous liquids after a series of ruptures that included an accident in Michigan that became the costliest onshore spill in the nation's history. U.S. Department of Transportation wants to expand pipeline inspection requirements and to require companies to more closely analyze the results. The agency also would make companies recheck the lines following floods and hurricanes. Missoula police have been looking for a purse thief since this summer, but are closer than ever to finding the culprit. Missoula Police Public Information Officer Travis Welsh has details.
Her purse had been stolen either from a shopping cart or their vehicle when she was shopping at a local grocery store on June the 25th. She immediately noticed that the balance in her account was not accurate, and she then discovered that several of her checks had been written around town and were still being written.
Detectives were able to trace the credit card use and now are looking for a suspect, but they do need some help from the public.
We've managed to contact some of those businesses, and we've gotten some pretty good surveillance video. They appear to be of a young woman driving a passenger car, unknown if it's her vehicle or not, and we haven't confirmed her identity. So we're asking for anybody that may know who this is to contact Detective Sean Manraxa here at the police department.
Photos of the suspect and her vehicle are available on our website at newstalkkgvo.com. The Bozeman Health Board of Trustees has filed a lawsuit against the search firm they used to find hospitals. Former president and CEO saying the search company failed to find felony theft convictions on his record. The board fired Kevin Pitzer earlier this year due to his felony conviction in 1983. Pitzer was convicted of 3 felony counts of theft for embezzling over $100,000 from an Iowa residential and daycare facility for the disabled, where he was a bookkeeper and administrative assistant. Officials say if they had known about Pitzer's past, it would have swayed them away from hiring him. A complaint to 911 about a road rage incident near Kalispell nearly turned deadly Wednesday after someone pulled out a gun and fired. Kalispell Police Detective Andy Hogg has details.
The Kalispell Police Department was dispatched to a road rage incident that was occurring on Highway 93 North. While the caller was on 911, he was reporting that he was being followed by a blue van. While the caller was still on the line, a shot was fired from the blue van into the caller's vehicle.
Hodge said the shot completely shattered the window and must have come from a weapon stronger than a BB gun. Witnesses at the scene described seeing the blue van, which was later found without its driver.
With the help of the Flathead County Sheriff's Office and the Montana Highway Patrol, we did locate the blue van in the Evergreen area last evening. Currently, we are looking for two persons of interest, a Michael John Ince, that's I-N-C-E, and an Erin Elizabeth Carnahan.
No one was injured. Yesterday, I should say this week, the U.S. Forest Service awarded 3 companies exclusive contracts to provide 7 next-generation air tankers for fighting forest fires. One of those companies is Missoula's Neptune Aviation. The CEO, Ron Hooper, says Neptune will supply 4 of those 7 tankers.
What it means for us is the financial security of having these aircraft under firm contracts for 5 years, and there are 5 one-year option years. So for us, potentially it's 10 years of contracts for these 4 airplanes. For Missoula, it allows us to continue to grow out here. We're trying to grow other aspects of the company out here at Neptune, and this gives us a financial basis to do some of the things that have been on hold.
Hooper said the potential for these tankers is spread beyond just Montana.
It's the Forest Service puts them under contract. They're capable of going anywhere in the country, and they do. We've fought fire from Florida to Minnesota to Tennessee to Oregon, Washington, Alaska. We were in Canada this year. So they go all over wherever the Forest Service dispatches. They are capable of going overseas. This new modern jet has the capability to fly distances that the old P-2Vs couldn't. So they are capable of going out of the country as well.
On a personal note, in the 1970s and 80s, radio listeners will remember the voice of Ray Nicolai, the news guy, on KYLT. Ray passed away yesterday at St. Patrick Hospital. He was 85. Having worked with Ray for nearly 2 decades, I can tell you there was never a kinder, gentler man. In my memory, Ray never took a sick day. He was completely dedicated to his craft as a radio journalist and many times arrived at the scene of a fire or accident even before law enforcement. He had great respect for and in turn was respected by everyone at the police and sheriff's departments. Ray in his later years acted as a bailiff in Missoula District Court. Our thoughts and prayers go out to Ray's wife Carrie and his children and grandchildren. Services are pending through Garden City Funeral Home. News Talk time now, 6:12.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Expect more sunshine than we saw yesterday in the Missoula area. Rainfall stays to the southeast, and we'll see a high of right around 70 degrees as we head into the afternoon. I'm meteorologist Matt Gray for KECI 13, your first alert station.